Have you ever found yourself in this situation? Your body freezes up while your blood starts boiling. The moment someone mocks or provokes you and strikes at your ego, then you're torn between two thoughts. Either you scream back and look like a fool who has lost control, or you stay silent and swallow the defeat, coming across as weak. Both paths seem to lead only to a sense of loss and shame. Machiavelli would laugh at you because you are completely blind to the game of power playing out right before your eyes. You're busy calculating how to react better. But the truth is, you've already lost the moment you started thinking about how to respond. At that instant, your mind no longer belongs to you, it belongs to your opponent. You are not controlling the game. You become the one being played. I am here to expose the world of power through Machiavelli's lens. It is not the one who speaks most sharply who holds the most power, but the one who possesses the ruthless ability to ignore. Real power lies in this. Nothing truly touches you. You do not react, and you absolutely do not grant shallow, insignificant people the privilege of seeing you disturbed. When you ignore them, you don't just protect yourself, you crush their ego with contemptuous silence. That is the moment you step out of their game and build your own empire. In this video, we will go through 10 practical laws that Machiavelli applied throughout his life to understand how a ruler uses stillness as a weapon to control his own mind. From there, control the power dynamics around him. By the end of this video, you will never again be led by others. You will truly become the one steering your own life. Ruthless truth. Society teaches you that the truth will set you free, and honesty is the key to every relationship. Machiavelli looks at that and smiles, because he knows those are the sweetest lies designed to keep you in the position of the ruled. In the real world of power, truth is worthless. Only perception is the sole reality that decides your fate. The crowd does not judge you based on your true nature. They judge you based on what they read from your reactions. Here is the brutal truth. Transparency is social suicide. Do you think revealing your emotions or explaining everything in detail will make you understood? No. You are handing over the map of your weaknesses to your opponent. When you react, you confirm that they are important enough to affect you. When you explain, you are kneeling down, begging for approval from the very person judging you. In this game, the one who is hardest to read holds the highest position. Real power does not reside in what you display, but in the space between what you think and what you allow others to see. Do not confuse silence with disappearing. The silence of the strong is a heavy presence that forces the opponent to examine themselves and feel fear. To achieve that, you need iron rules to protect your psychological boundaries. Right now, we will enter the system of 10 laws so you can reclaim the leverage of power. Law 1: never react to an invitation to descend. Have you ever been provoked by the pettiest souls in your life? A colleague who enjoys needling you, a venomous comment online, or a stranger's contemptuous glance? How do you respond if you lose composure and snap back instantly? Congratulations, you've just dragged yourself down to their level. Most men believe silence before a challenge is cowardice, and that a forceful reply protects dignity. The harsh truth is this: not everyone who touches you deserves to be treated as a worthy enemy. Many are simply baiting you, trying to drag you down into their chaotic, low-stakes arena, where they hold the advantage of having nothing to lose. Why would you lower your value to fight someone who has none? Imagine a disciplined fighter entering a dim bar. A drunk loudly insults and challenges him before the crowd. The drunk is not stronger, only louder. If the fighter lets anger control him and throws a punch, he may win physically in seconds. But in that very moment, his status collapses. He stops being a master of discipline and becomes just another hot-headed fool, moved by the emotions of a worthless drunk. The drunk wins because he forced a king to step down into the mud. Machiavelli understood this dark law. Centuries ago, power does not lie in what you can do, but in the level at which you choose to act. The moment you react, you surrender dignity and allow others to define you. You are no longer seen as steady or refined. You become the same angry creature as the one provoking you. A truly strong man knows his strength and does not need to display it everywhere. He chooses only the battles worthy of his sword. So when sarcasm flies at you, or someone tries to belittle you, stop asking, "What should I say to win?" Ask instead, "If I react now, am I holding my position or stepping into the mud?" Sometimes the best reply is absolute indifference. See the trap, step over it, stop being reactive. Become the director of your own fate. If you are ready to commit to your growth, leave below, "I do not step down." This is your declaration of war against your weakness. Law 2. The first man to defend himself loses height. Be honest with me for a second. Have you ever sent a long message just to explain a small misunderstanding? You stared at the screen, heart racing, waiting for those typing dots, terrified they still did not understand you. Congratulations. You just placed your power on a silver platter and begged them to take it. Society sweetly lies that truth brings freedom, that if you explain enough, people will understand and respect you. Wrong. In the game of perception and power, the man who rushes to explain is the first to lower himself. The moment you begin justifying your actions, you step out of the position of mastery and into the cage of the accused. Machiavelli saw this clearly in the courts of the Renaissance. A man who hurried to defend himself before the king did not appear innocent. He appeared insecure. The more he pleaded, the more suspicion he created, because fear has its own smell. A man who is truly steady does not drown the room in words. That is the law of perception. In a world ruled by appearances, the more desperately you protect your image, the more fragile you reveal it to be. Meanwhile, the man who stands still, says only what is necessary, and then falls silent, forces others to reconsider their judgment. Most people do not judge by the truth. They judge by the temperature of power you radiate. When you explain too much, you are not clarifying, you are begging. And once you beg, you are already beneath them. The answer is not weak silence, but disciplined speech. When you are misunderstood, do not reflexively say more. Ask yourself, am I clarifying the truth, or kneeling before their emotional court? If it is the second, stay silent. Say only what is necessary. Then stop. No extra defense. No anxious additions. Let consistency and future action speak for you. Look back at the past week. How many times did you over-explain just to protect your image? Stop being the defender. Become the man who stands above judgment. Law 3. Never. Reply at the peak of emotion. Observe the bull in the arena. It is teased, provoked, and finally controlled by nothing more than a red cloth. The matador is not stronger than the beast. He simply understands its limits better than the beast understands itself. Once emotion takes over, the bull charges blindly. What feels like an attack is actually obedience. It runs where the matador wants, wastes its strength, and ends in a cage. The victory was never physical. It was psychological. Men in real life are no different. Many situations are not created for you to solve. They are traps built to see whether you will charge like that bull. Your enemies are not always trying to defeat you with force. Often, they only need to provoke you until you destroy yourself. Machiavelli understood this clearly. A powerful man does not surrender his mind to the rhythm of others. He keeps a cold head, controls his timing, and acts only when action serves strategy. The crowd worships fast reaction as strength. They think the loudest retaliation wins. The harsh truth is the opposite at the peak of emotion. your intelligence collapses. Anger and fear are the easiest emotions to exploit. They expose weakness, distort judgment, and make you speak when silence would have protected you. At that moment, you are no longer a strategist. You are only a cornered beast showing its teeth. The solution is not repression, but control of rhythm. When provoked, do nothing at first. Do not let your face, voice, or hands move before your mind does. Slow down. Breathe. That single pause cuts off the signal your enemy is waiting to harvest. If action is still needed, act later, after the emotional storm has passed. Then you can see the other person not as a threat, but as a piece to reposition. The weak release emotion to feel relief. The strong hold their rhythm so they cannot be read. One seeks comfort, the other seeks control. Ask yourself, when was the last time emotion ruled you? Did it strengthen your image or reveal how easily you can be manipulated? Stop reacting at the height of feeling. That is where self-mastery begins. Law 4. Who speaks first loses leverage. You are watching a typical negotiation. Two men sit across from each other. After a small talk, one of them cannot bear the silence and rushes to fill it. For 10 straight minutes, he reveals everything what he wants, the lowest price he will accept, and what he fears if the deal falls apart. He thinks he is taking control. The other man stays quiet, asks 2 short questions, and simply watches. By the end, the talkative man believes he has won. In reality, he has handed over all his leverage. He has exposed his leverage, his weakness, and his limits. The silent man no longer has to guess where to press. He already knows. In this game, the one who speaks first is not the strongest. He is simply the one too fragile to endure the pressure of silence. Machiavelli understood this law of human nature centuries ago. Men crave the image of being clear, reasonable, and in control. That craving becomes the trap. In the world of power, leverage lives in information asymmetry. You win when you know more about the other man than he knows about you. The moment you speak too early, you destroy your mystery, your only real armor. Silence is pressure, and the man who cannot bear that pressure is already ruled by his own insecurity. This does not happen only in negotiation. It happens in meetings, on dates, and in arguments. You think speaking first gives you control, but often you are only handing the other side a map of how to use you. The wise man resists that impulse. He listens, asks, observes, and reveals only what serves him. That is the discipline. Do not rush to fill the void. In important moments, say less. Let silence force the other person to reveal impatience, fear, and weakness first. You do not need to become mysterious. You simply need to stop being easy to read. The advantage belongs not to the better speaker, but to the man who reveals less. Law 5. What you answer, you empower. Have you ever wondered why nameless, mediocre people love attacking the successful? Why does a man with nothing dare challenge someone above him? The answer is simple. They crave your attention like an addict craves a fix. And your fatal mistake is giving it to them. Machiavelli saw this in the courts of the Renaissance. Lesser men who lacked merit often tried to rise by attaching themselves to those with power. A minor official would publicly challenge a senior minister not to learn, but to force a response. The moment the powerful man argued or explained, the lesser man's status rose. His name was now spoken beside someone greater. That alone gave him borrowed importance. This is the law. What you answer, you empower. When you respond to cheap sarcasm or petty attacks, you are not teaching a lesson. You are dragging a clown to stand beside your throne. The world no longer sees a superior man dealing with an inferior one. It sees two men arguing on equal ground. In that instant, you have lowered yourself and elevated someone who did not deserve your notice. Power is not only about strength, it is also about who you consider worthy of your attention. Silence is not weakness. It is contempt in its highest form. When you refuse to answer, you deny them entry into your world. You send a cold message without saying a word. You are not important enough to disturb me. Truly powerful men are ruthless with their attention. They understand that every response is an investment of time, energy, and reputation. And a wise man does not waste capital on what weakens his own value. So stop trying to be polite. Become expensive. Before you answer anyone, ask yourself, am I solving something real? Or am I giving importance to what should remain beneath me? If there is no strategic gain, let silence do the work. The strong do not answer out of wounded pride. They answer only when it serves power. In the next 48 hours, purge the unworthy. Stop elevating trash with your response. Let them scream into the void. If you are ready, comment, I do not elevate the unworthy. Law 6. What moves you controls you. Look straight into the mirror and answer, honestly, are you a man who masters his destiny? Or merely an electronic toy that anyone can press a button on? Do not rush to feel offended. That rush itself proves you're easily controlled. Most men worship instinctive reactions. They call losing their temper being straightforward, and being easily offended having personality. In the real world of power, anything that makes you angry, anxious, or loses composure owns you. You do not control your emotions control you. And any clown can hold the leash. Consider the most skilled man in your department. When being criticized in front of others, his face changes color, his voice turns harsh, and his body tenses like a string about to snap. Those around him no longer care about his talent. They have learned a fatal truth. He has a button called ego. They don't need to outsmart him. They simply press that button to turn him into a fool. He loses because he exposed the malware in his soul. Machiavelli saw through this trap. To maintain power, one must first maintain immutability amid circumstances. Humans are predictable, pulled by invisible strings, fear, desire, and hollow pride. Real power lies not in how many people you control, but in how many things cannot make you waver. Calmness is a barbed wire fence protecting supreme self-sovereignty. Whoever is easily touched is easily steered. Whoever is easily provoked is easily destroyed. The solution is simple. Identify the triggers that always make you lose rhythm. Being looked down upon, ignored, or compared. Confront and destroy the ego at those points. Only then can you stop handing over power. The strong man is not emotionless. He refuses to let emotions dictate his actions. Do not waste energy justifying who you are. Let your stability speak. Ignoring is a heavy weapon. It makes the attacker feel worthless and small. Next time someone tries to move you, pause, focus inward, and ignore them. View that anger as a virus trying to invade and calmly watch it die from lack of your energy. Law 7. Attention is permission. Imagine your mind as a fortress. The problem is, you guard it like a fool. You leave the gates wide open and let every piece of trash walk in a vicious comment online. A worthless colleague's remark, a passing insult that bruises your ego, a baseless worry about what others think. These things enter your inner court and begin living there as if they own the place. Meanwhile, while disciplined men build empires, you sit wasting energy replaying why some failure did not greet you in the morning. That is humiliation. You are leasing out your mind to people who do not even deserve your attention. Most men live in a state of mental weakness and call it sensitivity. They think noticing everything means being aware. In truth, Every second, you give your attention to something useless. You surrender power to it. Others do not need force to control you. They only need to occupy your thoughts. Once something repeats in your head, it begins feeding on your energy, your focus, and your direction. Machiavelli understood this trap well. Power begins with deciding what is not allowed to enter your space. Human beings are easily led by curiosity, vanity, and wounded pride. The moment your attention becomes tied to someone, you give them influence over your emotions, your plans, and your purpose. So the answer is ruthless selectivity. Stop asking only, should I respond? Ask the deeper question, does this deserve space in my mind? Become merciless about what you allow yourself to see, hear, and dwell on. Do not scatter your attention like crumbs to scavengers. Pull it back. Anything that creates no value, no strength, no progress should be treated as if it does not exist. A ruler does not stop his horse because a dog barks at the roadside. Look into your mind now. What has stayed there too long without earning the right? Throw it out. Reclaim the fortress. Law 8. Never correct every misunderstanding. Have you ever chased every glance, desperate to prove, I am not that kind of person? A rumor spreads. A colleague twists your intention, and your ego instantly screams, I need to explain this now. That reaction reveals more weakness than innocence. It shows you cannot stand firm without approval from mediocre minds. Machiavelli understood this long ago. The crowd does not care about truth. It lives by feeling, appearance, and shallow perception. Most people will never take the time to understand your real value. They judge quickly, often through their own distortion, and sometimes reduce others only to comfort their own fragile pride. If you try to correct every misunderstanding, you enter an endless war that drains your energy and pulls you away from the real work of your life. Imagine standing in a room full of warped mirrors. One makes you look small, another makes you look ridiculous, another twists your face into something weak. That is society. Most men waste their lives adjusting themselves before each mirror, hoping the next reflection will finally be fair. It never is. The next mirror distorts them again. A strong man does not waste his life serving broken reflections. He walks out of the room. He understands a brutal truth. Distorted people will produce distorted judgments, and you cannot fix the crooked perception of others. So the next time you are misunderstood, stop the urge to justify yourself. Ask one question, does this threaten my real position? Or does it merely bruise my ego? If it truly damages your core reputation, answer briefly and with precision. If it is only noise from outsiders, give it nothing. Some misunderstandings do not need to be corrected. They need to starve in the face of your stability. Stop burning energy trying to look right in the eyes of people who do not matter. Let some false impressions live. Let some people misread you. Power often begins the moment you stop explaining and start standing still. Seal it by commenting, I do not owe everyone an explanation. This is your reminder of the power of ignoring and contemptuous silence. Law 9. Never give them a pattern. Look at how opponents study Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi for years. At the highest level, they do not just analyze skill, they hunt for pattern. They want to know what happens when he is forced onto his weaker foot, where he leans when space disappears, how his rhythm changes under pressure. Once the pattern is exposed, even greatness becomes easier to contain. Real life works the same way. Many men do not lose because they are weaker. They lose because they are predictable. They expose their entire inner code, then act surprised when others know exactly how to corner them. Your boss knows which pressure makes you fold. Your colleague knows which tone silences you. Your friends know which button makes you give in. That is not always because they are smarter. Often, it is because you are too easy to read. This is why predictability is dangerous. The moment people learn your reaction formula, controlling you becomes effortless. They no longer need force. They only need the right trigger. Machiavelli wrote this in The Prince. Power belongs to the man who can be both lion and fox. If you are only a lion, you charge into traps. If you are only a fox, stronger men crush you. The real advantage is variability. When they expect anger, give them silence. When they expect retreat, strike with force. Let people feel uncertainty around you. Let them wonder which version of you they are dealing with. That is how you break control. Watch how others try to pull responses from you. Is it urgency, flattery, guilt, disrespect? The moment you notice a familiar trigger producing the same old reaction, break the pattern. You do not need to become chaotic. You only need to stop being readable. The moment your pattern breaks, their confidence breaks with it. Their uncertainty becomes your freedom. Stop today if anyone has learned your formula. Surprise them. Make them doubt themselves. Do not live like an open book. Become a code that others must spend their lives trying to crack. Comment, I am closed. Source from today. No one will read your pattern anymore. Law 10. Never fight on borrowed terms. The crowd lives with a weak gangster mindset. If called out, you must answer. If dragged in, you must fight. They believe quick, strong reactions mean victory. That is a mistake. Every game has rules. The real question is, whose rules are you playing by? If the rules were designed by your opponent who chooses the timing, the terrain, and the way of clashing, you have already lost control before opening your mouth and surrendered half your fighting strength. Dark psychology calls this the framing trap. The enemy does not need to be stronger. They only need to pull you into a script where every reaction makes you look like a desperate defendant, justifying yourself. In daily life, it happens subtly. A friend makes an unreasonable demand. When you refuse, they say, "We're friends and you're still calculating. You disappoint me." Most people panic and explain why they are not heartless. In that moment, you have already lost. You pushed yourself into the position of the accused on a court that judges friendship by their distorted standards. Reset the rules immediately. Answer, yes. I am calculating for my own safety, and I am disappointed you disrespect my boundaries. Now you have pulled him from the position of poor victim to someone who crossed the line. You are no longer the one who must justify. Now he must defend his own behavior. Do you see the difference? Stay alert so you never fight on the field the enemy has drawn, because that field is designed for you to lose. A wolf never jumps into water to fight a crocodile, not because it fears death, but because terrain decides survival. The wise man looks at the battlefield before looking at the opponent. True power does not lie in winning every small battle. It lies in never letting others decide the terms of the fight. When conflict arises, do not only ask, should I respond? Ask, whose rules am I playing by? You can ignore the provocation. Shift the conversation to another time and place, or act in a way that catches them off guard. The one who controls the rules has usually won before the fight begins. If you are ready to stop fighting on the enemy's field, leave this steel oath in the comments. I do not fight by others' rules. Do not be the borrower. Be the one who sets the terms. Conclusion: these 10 laws are not the destination. They are the first cracks in the prison wall of fake reasonableness that you have built around yourself for so long. Do not try to memorize them like empty theories. See them as blades to sharpen your own character. The world will not naturally respect you just because you live well. It will respect you when it realizes that every effort to drag you down becomes meaningless before your solidity. This is not the end of a video. but the beginning of a new reality where you are no longer a victim of stupid emotional reflexes. Do not rush to declare that you have changed. Power does not need showmanship. It needs consistency from this moment. Let your silence become the most expensive answer. You now know the laws. You have seen the leverage. Now the choice is yours. Continue being a reactor to be understood, or stand firm in a higher position to be feared. The first step of power is realizing that you hold the right to choose. Do not let go of the steering wheel. If you are ready to go deeper into the journey of becoming a powerful, self-mastered man in this ruthless world, subscribe and join our community. Here we do not offer comforting words. We expose the dark corners of human psychology together so we can achieve mental sovereignty and build the mindset of a modern sovereign.